the defending AFC champions. They are the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year went 14-2 in the regular season, 16-3 overall, with an unfortunate loss in the Super Bowl to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This year, following a slow start, they are in control of the AFC West once again. And here with me to talk about the Kansas City Chiefs is longtime Kansas City Chiefs fan, Keith Abbott. Keith, thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you for taking time out of your schedule. I really do appreciate you being on.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate you having me. I love talking Chiefs football.
Definitely. And I know we're going to get into all of that as well. And normally, as we start, the first thing I ask is, how did you become a Chiefs fan, and what has been the attraction to them, and what's kept you through good times and bad times?
I became a fan in 1994. Not many people know, but that Joe Montana retired from Kansas City. My mom was a big Joe Montana fan when I started watching football. So we went from San Francisco to Kansas City, and then when he retired, that's when I was 10 years old. I started getting into sports. I just stayed with Kansas City and been there ever since.
Yeah, and I know, like I said, I've seen a number of guys play signal caller with the Chiefs. I think Elvis Gerback. I think of course, Steve Bono, Alex Smith, all the way up to Patrick Mahomes. Even Warren Moon and his little stint there. And it's crazy, just like when you start rattling off a bunch of names, they start bringing back old memories, both good and sometimes negative ones as well.
Yeah, we've had some good quarterbacks, but we've had our share of not so good quarterbacks. Matt Castles in that run. That was a tough stretch there.
No, definitely. There's always a clunker here and there over the lifetime of anybody's fandom. And you can think of how many people can just pull one out. I'm like, oh, that guy. That was, that's always buyer's remorse there when you think about it.
Right, for sure.
What is your most memorable Chiefs moment? Is it the most recent Super Bowl win against the Niners, or is it something else in particular that sticks in your memory?
Yeah, so the Super Bowl 2 years ago was definitely big. I actually got to go down to Florida for the game. I didn't go to the game, but there was a big watch party, Kansas City watch party at Fort Lauderdale. So it was like being probably close to 1,000 other Kansas City fans. At two-story bars is awesome. So, just being there with all the Chiefs fans, it's been so long since they've even been to the Super Bowl. And, being 20 miles from the stadium, it was really cool. And that's definitely my biggest Chiefs memory and probably sports memory, or greatest memory, I should say.
Going into the season, what were your expectations for the Chiefs? I know coming off that disappointing Super Bowl loss, what were you hoping that the Chiefs could do in the AFC West?
Yeah, I like their chances. We've been pretty tough in the AFC West the last, probably 6 to 8 years now. Even when Alex Smith was quarterback, we still are winning or finishing in the top two. We built the offensive lineup, which I think was a big problem in the Super Bowl. So I felt like on paper we got better, but when the season started, I was like, what is happening here?
No, definitely can understand that. Was there a particular game that made you feel that, okay, the Chiefs are back, there is no Super Bowl loss hangover, and that you guys are going to roll back to where you guys were in the playoffs? Was there a particular win that made you feel extremely confident about that?
Yeah, I would say the Cowboys win, because I think it's like our third or fourth one in a row after starting the season off very slow. And, Cowboys are a tough team. We did beat the Packers, but it was without Aaron Rodgers. So I think that Cowboys win, that was a big win. And I was like, maybe we are back, and here we go. Let's get rolling.
What was the game that worried you, especially a loss that made you think, are these guys all right, or is everybody catching up to the field? Was it the Buffalo loss? Was it the Tennessee loss? Was it the Baltimore loss?
Yeah, I would say the Tennessee one. The Baltimore one was tough, but, we were in that game the whole time. But Tennessee, we lost 27-3. That was also the fourth loss for us that season. So I was like, maybe this is where we are this year. They maybe figured it out. Mahomes didn't look good. The defense didn't look good. And I was like, okay, maybe our Super Bowl run ends here early.
And 7 wins in a row that you railed off. I know everybody will say, if you look at the competition, as you mentioned, even the Green Bay game, no Aaron Rodgers, but you've decimated a lot of the opposition. A 48-9 win against the Raiders. Previously, there was a 41-14 win against the Raiders, and then you beat the Broncos 22-9. To you, what has been the key in this turnaround and that 7-game winning streak?
I think the defense is playing amazing. I know a lot of people are still saying that Kansas City's offense is looking subpar, but they don't have to score to 40 or 50 points right now because the defense is holding, other offenses in check. I'm on the defense right now. It's a hard thing to say when you have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, but defense keeps playing like this, I definitely like our chances.
Going to the AFC playoff matchup. Who do you think the Chiefs match up the best with in the field of competitors in the AFC right now?
Oh, you said it a while ago. Hopefully, I'm definitely rooting for the Raiders to get in because 48-9 and 41-14. I definitely like matching up against them. If for some reason we slip from the one, and that could be like a 2-7 seed game, I definitely like that. If not, I don't know. I mean, I know the Titans beat us pretty bad. I like our chances against the Titans, especially without Derrick Henry.
Who's the team that scares you the most in the playoff run, or even teams that are like on the bubble? Is it the Los Angeles Chargers? I want to say San Diego is so bad, but is it the Chargers? Is it Buffalo, who looks like they're sort of getting on the rise? Is it the Colts, who have maybe not a Derrick Henry like running back, but someone in Jonathan Thomas who is really going to be an X factor in the playoffs? Or is it New England, especially as hot as they've been getting?
Yeah, I just something about them Bills, man. Josh Allen's a great quarterback, so I would be a little nervous to play the Bills. And like you said, New England's defense is tough, but after the loss this week, I think Andy can figure out a way to beat them. So I'm hoping to not play the Bills. Maybe the Ravens keep sliding, don't get the playoffs. I would be okay with that too. But yeah, definitely the Bills.
When it comes to the success that the Chiefs have had, and of course, you start seeing the exposure Patrick Mahomes gets everywhere, Madden covers and all these other things. Do you feel like that there is a concern that when is this other shoe going to drop, especially as you see the teams in the AFC West are starting to get better and more competitive? People could say if it wasn't for the Gruden thing in Las Vegas, maybe they're a bit better. Denver's getting better as well. All they needed was a quarterback. And of course, the Chargers, new coach, and it seems like they're going in the right direction themselves. But did you feel like, one, the field is starting to catch up to the Chiefs in the West? And two, did you expect the West to be this competitive so soon?
Man, Justin Herbert he's a great quarterback, isn't he? San Diego, I think, is going to be there for a while. I'm looking at it being the Chiefs San Diego battle for maybe the next 2 to 3 years. We're going to have to figure out a way to keep signing some players. Patrick Mahomes got that big contract, so that's taking money from other places. But hopefully we can just ride it for a while. I mean, we're going to have Patrick Mahomes for 9 more years now, hopefully, barring any major injuries. So, we got to ride that wave. That's one of the best quarterbacks to play the game, I think. So it should be interesting, that's for sure.
Do you feel that Andy Reid's legacy has also changed now with the Super Bowl win? I know all those years in Philadelphia, get into the championship game and not being able to get the job done, and then getting to the Super Bowl but losing. Do you feel like the whole reputation Andy Reid had as a coach that couldn't win the big one is now gone with that one, especially getting to the Super Bowl and back-to-back years at one point?
Yeah, I think he's definitely got that chip off his shoulder. And yeah, he's one of the greatest coaches. I mean, even when he was in Philly, doing his thing there, even though he didn't get a Super Bowl win, he's tough. So I think the Super Bowl will definitely help. I definitely think if he can get another one this year, go 2 out of 3 Super Bowls and go to 3 Super Bowls in a row, will be the I think 4th AFC division win if they go to Super Bowl again, or AFC conference win if they go to Super Bowl again. I think it pretty much sets him as one of the best coaches that's been in the game.
Also, how long do you think Andy Reid has as a coach? Do you feel like if they get to the Super Bowl and win this one, this is the way to go, just to go out on top? Or do you feel like he still has another couple of years in him as a coach?
If he does win it this year, I think that he may go, especially, he's had some issues with his son, and all that. I mean, I hope not, because like I said, I hope he stays around. I think he should give him the lifetime contract like Newton gave Coach K, But I wouldn't be surprised if we win the Super Bowl that he does retire.
And is there a concern about the transition? Who's going to be the next guy? You've seen guys like Peterson and Nagy get head coaching jobs. While Peterson did win the Super Bowl, Nagy is sort of on the hot seat. The seat's burning up in Chicago. But do you sort of worry about what happens with the next transition of power after that?
No, I would hope that it would come from within. I'm drawing a blank right now. You can probably tell me the offensive coordinator, though. Benemy, yeah. Man, I would love to see him stay and step in for Kansas City. If Reid retires, I just don't think that. I think he's probably going after the end of this year. He should be a head coach already. So,
as we start getting to the predictions for the Super Bowl, who do you have coming out of the AFC? Who do you have coming out of the NFC? Who wins the Super Bowl? And what is the final score?
Well, AFC, I got to pick Kansas City, not just because of my team, because right now I think they're the hottest team out there in the AFC. It's a crazy year, COVID can affect a playoff game, going down the road. So, it's what team not only stays healthy, like injury wise, but with having players sit out with COVID and all that, I'm in the team that gets hottest. But I definitely like Kansas City. In the NFC, I like Green Bay. I think Rodgers playing with a chip on his shoulder. They're playing really good football. So I like Green Bay there. I mean, you can't count out Tom Brady. I just think that Rodgers, with the whole contract issue, he's going out there to get into a Super Bowl. And between them two teams, I like Kansas City. Maybe like a 28-23. Close game, one possession game.
And like I said, it seems like no one's talking blowout, and I don't think anybody wants to say a blowout is in the cards for a Super Bowl. Everybody's going to think it's going to come down to at least one possession.
Yeah, if Kansas City gets in it with Tampa, I'd be okay with paying them back with a blowout, because last year that was tough.
As we start to wrap things up, Keith, do you have any shout outs you want to give to anyone, anything that you have to promote or want to promote? And what are ways people can reach out to you to talk Chiefs football?
I'm pretty much on Facebook, Keith Abbott Jr. I get on there and talk a little sports. I do have a Twitter account. It's actually called @Sports by Abbott. I get on there some too. Mostly I'm just on there, just sharing Kansas City sports stuff and Washington Capitol stuff. Really no shout outs other than you for having me on here. I love the podcast and things you do. It's cool to have somebody, local that does that. So I definitely appreciate it.